Today, I want to talk about Cambodia, a country which is in the list of top 20 producers of clothes in the world, along with China, Turkey, Bangladesh, Vietnam, India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. What are the country-specific characteristics of the fast fashion industry's production in Cambodia? This video will be dedicated to this question, in which I will help you understand the struggles of Cambodian garment workers. Hello everyone, this is Asit Sorbekova and welcome to my channel where I help you understand matters of sustainable development and fast fashion the legal way. So it is all things fast fashion and fashion where I attempt to uncover the other face of the fast fashion industry. Cambodia is a country in the Southeast Asia that borders with Thailand and has a population of almost 15.5 million people, and it is a kingdom. The textile and clothing industries continue to be the backbone of Cambodia's export-driven economy, employing more than 800,000 people around the country, which is 86% of all its factory workers, and contributing to 40% of the nation's gross domestic product (GDP. And the country has the lowest minimum wages in this industry. Basically, the issue of low wages has been one of the biggest issues in the recent history of Cambodia. As in Cambodia, the number of strikes increased by 170% between 2010 and 2012. This was followed by the 2013, 2014 anti-governmental protests, which were ongoing in Cambodia from July 2013 to July 2014. Back then, the government then agreed to increase the salary slightly to $100 per month, but people were not happy. And the human costs were heavy, with the result of 5 persons killed and many arrested and wounded and injured. Popular demonstrations in the capital of Cambodia, Phnom Penh, took place against the government of Prime Minister Hun Sen, triggered by widespread allegations of electoral fraud during the Cambodian general election of 2013, accompanied with demands to raise the minimum wage to $160 per month. So as you can see, there were serious disagreements of workers and workers' unions as to particularly the question of low salaries. This is because a few years ago, at the time of the strikes, the salary in Cambodia, the salary of factory workers was only $80 per month. So this was a little bit of a background or historical information for you to understand the struggles of Cambodian garment workers, factory workers in general, that they were not they did not agree with these low salaries and that these strikes lasted for a long time. Now I would like to discuss positive sides of the Cambodian garment industry. What is, what is considered as positive, at least in my eyes, and what are the areas where they have improvements. The first thing to me is the ILO IFC Better Work program, which is a partnership between the International Labor Organization and the International Finance Corporation that combines the expertise of this International Labor Organization in social dialogue, labor standards, and the application of these labor standards with those of the IFC in private sector development, so that, this program helps employers, these factories, to better take care of their employees and to ensure that workers' rights are respected. So these are just workshop, in a simple words, workshops, seminars, kind of trainings for factory managements to take care of their workers. The reason I'm mentioning this program is because it's been operational since 2009 and it covers almost 1,000 factories and over 1 million workers, including workers and factories in Cambodia. And one more thing about this program is that the Better Work program closely works with factories and leading brands to improve fundamental rights at work and social protection. Better Work engages directly with governments, investors, and business associations to increase awareness of adherence to labor laws on the importance of social dialogue in order to ensure decent work in the sector. The second positive side in the garment industry of Cambodia, in my opinion, is that workers' unions and associations are represented. I would not say that there are quite many. Apparently not, since they're still struggling with demanding better salaries and better working conditions. But the situation is apparently way better than in Bangladesh or Ethiopia. With regard to these two countries, when I was making videos on them, I did not find any information on workers' unions or collective bargaining campaigns, as in the case of Cambodia. And last but not least, the third positive side is the increase of salaries, monthly wages. As I said a few years ago, the salary was 80 US dollars per month, but now it went up to 190, a little more than 190. So now they're saying that there will be a potential increase of 2 US dollars on top of the existing salary. From 1st of January 2021, since unions have still been demanding increase. This time they have demanded increase of 12 US dollars per month on top of the existing salary. But this is not a naturally occurring process, and the workers' unions had little help, had a little external help, and I'm going to tell you why. To cut the long story short, it has to do with the political situation in the country and the fact that the prime minister has been in office for over 30 years. And the political opposition to this regime has been, against the government. And the European Union's disagreement with the situation, the political situation, and expressing concern over serious and systematic, violations of human rights ascertained in the country. Based on serious concerns about the deterioration of political, human, land, and labor rights in Cambodia, in February 2019, the European Commission opened a procedure for a withdrawal of the EBA trade preferences granted to Cambodia. The thing is that the garment industry is Cambodia's largest exporting sector, generating over 7 billion US dollars a year for the economy each year. It faces uncertainty after this situation because, as I said, the European Union began a process that could suspend the country's special trade preferences. Amidst this delicate situation, Cambodian garment workers will see a minimum wage rise of 2 US dollars from January 2021. And as a result, a footwear and garment factory worker will be paid at least 192 US dollars per month, while a probationary worker will get 187 US dollars per month. And now the question arises, why don't workers in Bangladesh or Ethiopia get better wages, for example? Well, because it kind of suits everybody, right? That things gotta be this way, because so far nobody has expressed, in terms of, big shots. Nobody has expressed that much of a concern regarding these lowest salaries. Ethiopia, I think in Ethiopia, garment workers earn around 26 to 29 US dollars a month, but it's certainly lower than 30 in Ethiopia. In Bangladesh, garment workers, they earn 95 US dollars. It's way lower than in Cambodia. Yes, the Cambodians started at the rate of 80 US dollars per month, but as I told you, they got some help. Of course, it's good for garment workers because now they can live better. But it's just a side information for you to understand how sometimes things might play out. And now let's talk about problematic areas in the Cambodian garment industry, things that need improvement. First, I have noticed that there is a huge problem of discrimination of women on the basis of gender and basically discrimination of women's rights. Because 90% of garment workers in Cambodia are women. Therefore, there's a problem, for example, of pregnant women hiding pregnant bellies, end of employment contract on the basis of the pregnancy, and no maternity leave. And women, there were stories that they needed to hide their belly until it couldn't be possible anymore to do so. And then once their employers would find out, they would be, fired from their jobs, and they wouldn't be allowed even to come back after the baby grows up, or these women would want to or would be willing to work again. The second issue is regarding child labor. I mean, I am a little bit skeptic about child labor when it comes to the garment industry, the fast fashion industry, because clearly nobody is forcing these children to work in these factories. I mean, it's not like a forced child labor, Their families are forcing, yes, but it's not that these garment factories are, by force, hiring these children. What I'm trying to say is that these families, they send their children to work in these garment factories, and sometimes it's a case of just empathy. These employers, garment factory owners, managers, etc., trying to understand the situation of each individual family and just turning a blind eye on the legal obligation to not hire these children because yes, these children need to go to school, right? And that's their parents that need to do. And the obligation on these garment employers, factory employers, is that they must not hire these workers, child workers. But at the same time, they are hiring them because they are trying to be empathetic when it comes to these families and to these children, because clearly this is the situation of that is deeply rooted within the culture of Cambodia, within the economic system development of that country. Issue number 3, short-term 3-month contracts. When people get hired on the basis of short-term contracts, and they try to unionize, they can be quickly fired because then the employers wait until the end of the contracts of these persons that had joined workers associations and unions, and then they can be threatened with termination at any time if they do not, if they want to hire them, extend their contract, but then they say, okay, we will extend your contract only if you, leave this or that union. Issue number 4, these garment workers, they didn't know which brands they sought for. They were saying that they only know to which country they are making these clothes. They were saying Japan or, stuff like that. They were saying that, they only knew what size these clothes would be, that, they would be stitching labels SML, but no idea about, to which brands. Can you imagine? Apparently, usually, the size comes together with the label, with the brand name, but it's not, for every cloth like that. So they were just saying, I don't know for which brand I'm working for. Just, I'm stitching or, I'm making clothes, and then I can see that, these are these sizes and stuff. Why is this important to know for which brand these workers are producing? It's always good to trace them, to call these fast fashion brands for responsibility, The next issue is about suppressing unions and discriminations based on union membership. I have touched upon this briefly when I, mentioned that workers start with 3 month contracts, or that, not that they would start, but usually, they are hired on short-term basis. And once a government worker joins a union, it turns out it becomes a problem for, their, the continuation of their work. And most of them, it turns out, they don't want even, probably don't want to join out of fear of losing their job. And according to the data of 2014, 2016, we can notice situations of modern day slavery when people would pull more than 200 hours a month, 210 hours a month. And then they wouldn't be getting paid, they wouldn't be paid for the overtime. So it's basically taking advantage of, it's just, they would be paid only what it was expected, just the normal salary, but they wouldn't count, employers wouldn't count, overtime hours that workers would be making. The next issue is regarding poor working conditions and, sacrificing occupational safety and health measures. They were saying that in 2011, for example, there were more than 2,000 workers that fainted at jobs because of short breaks and very, malnutrition and stuff. And also from chemicals in the fabric, they were saying that, they didn't feel good. That the fainting is regarding 2011, and the interview that was made, some workers were asked. It was in 2014 or 2016, so a few years ago. And another issue is a big problem of race to the bottom policies and unsustainable foreign direct investments flowing into the country. So the factories are saying that if the wages would increase, then the problem is that brands never said they would agree to pay high wages. If salaries get increased, then these foreign direct investors, they cannot make profit in Cambodia. Then they will leave, that they will go somewhere else where the labor is cheaper than in Cambodia. So these factory owners who are either foreign direct investors, foreign companies, corporations that have opened themselves factories, or these foreign companies that have entered into a partnership agreement with local investors, they are saying that they're not NGOs or development partners. They come, these foreign companies, that they come to Cambodia to make profit. However, the danger with that kind of thinking is that the unsustainable way of doing business can be, conducted at human cost. And speaking of accidents, in May 2013, there was a shoe factory collapse that happened in Cambodia. There were 3 people killed and 23 people were injured at another collapse. So the company paid a few dollars to ease the pain, to kind of, be good guys and save their reputation. But indeed, the sad reality is that foreign direct investors in Cambodia or elsewhere, they do business when it comes to the fast fashion industry. They do business in a way that is not sustainable, and they just completely disregard the working conditions, and they just don't care about workers' rights taken as a whole, generally speaking, when we look at the statistics and when we look at what is happening in this industry. It appears that the situation in Cambodia in terms of wages has increased and is way better than in Bangladesh, where working conditions for garment workers are the worst, one of the worst, okay? One of the worst in the world, and they only get 95 US dollars. Why did I say one of the worst? Because Bangladesh was number one in terms of one of the worst. Then came Ethiopia. Now we have yet to see what will happen in Ethiopia with their 26 or 29 salary rate, $26 month rate salary. So, yeah, yes, in Cambodia they earn better, but that's not the end of the story. This rapid increase of salaries within the last 6 years has been due to the strikes of workers' unions and the pressure from the EU. And it appears that with the EU trade restrictions of the Cambodian fashion export, factories in Cambodia can get decreased because foreign direct investors can migrate into other less expensive countries. And speaking of foreign direct investors and fast fashion brands, they need to be more transparent and incorporate sustainable ways of doing business and outsourcing. Because race to the bottom policies, cheap labor, and violation of labor rights are not sustainable solutions, and they will certainly see their end, they will come to their end sooner or later. That's all for today. For videos on fast fashion and matters of sustainable development, subscribe to my channel and join me every Sunday by 10 a.m. Central European Time. And also, if you like this video, then smash the like button and don't forget to leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching. Take care and see you next time. Bye.